Hello and welcome to This Week with Ajaz Haque. This is the midweek report on Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2020. As I am traveling out of town tomorrow, so I thought I'll take the liberty of doing this report a day earlier on Tuesday. We have two hot international topics to discuss in this video. The first one is the China-India standoff in Ladakh, and secondly, the killing of a black American by a police officer and the rioting that ensued, and all the cities that are burning in the US. Starting with the China-India situation, in 1962 there was a war between China and India in which China defeated India in Ladakh and inflicted heavy casualties. Then there was a ceasefire and line of actual control was established, and it was agreed that both sides will not build any permanent structures, as it was agreed it was a disputed territory. So the whole of Kashmir and Ladakh were considered disputed territory. But the situation changed when the Modi government on August 5, 2019 eliminated that status of Kashmir and made it as part of the Union, which was of course an illegal action because the disputed territory is what is agreed between India, Pakistan and China. And not only that, India started building structures, i.e. all-weather roads in Ladakh area, and a whole network of roads in fact. And the intention, it seems, was to get close to the Karakoram highway in Pakistan and make an attempt to cut off the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, by attacking Gilgit-Baltistan. And that nefarious design has been put to an end. The Chinese objected to the permanent structures. They attacked India in Ladakh area, and they've captured several hundred square kilometers of land that was under Indian control before this. So basically a lose-lose situation for the Modi government, and again a humiliating defeat at the hands of Chinese soldiers, although no bullets were fired, but there was a fair amount of beating up and injuries. Now, this whole philosophy of the Modi government is driven by a really crazy man, Mr. Ajit Doval, who is the National Security Advisor. He is the one who's been pushing the agenda on Pakistan, pushing the agenda on Kashmir and other areas. And he's been giving false information to the military chiefs in India as to what can be done. So I understand in a recent meeting where the military chiefs were present with Mr. Modi and Mr. Doval was given a fair bit of tough time by the army chief that he's been misleading everyone, including Mr. Modi and the army chiefs, and that the information he's provided is false and inaccurate. Remember, Mr. Doval is the same person who was behind the Army Public School Peshawar killing of 165 innocent children. He had avowed that he will finance the Pakistani Taliban to do the damage, and most people in Pakistan believe that it was his doing. Innocent children were slaughtered, and while children in Indian schools wept and lit candles for the students at Army Public School in Peshawar, Mr. Doval was the real butcher of that incident, which is very unfortunate. Some of those butchers who came and killed the kids, one of them was seen on the closed circuit TV talking to some distant boss, saying, "I've killed every child in this room, so what are my orders now?" He was told to go and search every other room and kill all of the children. So Mr. Ajit Doval, unfortunately, is a very hawkish man, and I think he's led Mr. Modi in the wrong direction. Another factor is that India is trying to be the front man of the United States in this region, which is very unfortunate. Pakistan has learned to its own peril how the friendship with the United States costs you. US is a bone that you can neither chew nor swallow, and India will soon learn to its own peril that they've made a mistake of going with a power that is in decline. this region can be an economic powerhouse: China, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. And China, right now, India is on the wrong side of everyone. There are problems with Pakistan, there are problems with Nepal, there are problems with Bangladesh, there are problems with China. Now, it would be much simpler if the Modi government had decided to join the China-Pakistan economic corridor and an offer was made to them. It's a huge potential for export, and India exports a great deal more than Pakistan and would stand to benefit considerably. Imagine a truck leaving Amritsar and within 48 hours is in China. So India needs to benefit from this rather than be on the wrong side of everyone. And it's very unfortunate that Mr. Modi, Mr. Doval and their other cronies have been so gung-ho rather than aim for peace, aim for prosperity. There are hundreds of millions of poor people in India and Pakistan. I think it's time to put them out of misery, and instead of spending money on arms and nuclear weapons, is to educate them, to feed them, to house them, to provide them jobs. And I hope after this incident in Ladakh, Mr. Modi will have a rethink and he will listen to the saner Indian voices. And there are a lot of people in India who are worried about what Mr. Modi is doing and where he is taking India to. And I hope the sane voices will get louder and louder and make Modi forced to listen to them. Now, the United States, a few days ago, a black American, George Floyd, was killed by use of excessive force by a white policeman. Now, this is not the first time this has happened. This has been happening very often in the US, but this was one time too many. Suddenly the protest started in Minneapolis and then spread all over the United States in several cities. Right now, 40 American cities are under curfew. From New York to Los Angeles, riots are taking place. From Minneapolis to Atlanta, Washington, D.C. is under curfew and lockdown. Donald Trump had to go and hide in a bunker in the east wing of the White House. And so far, he has blamed the Democrats for it. Only two topics he's been talking about: the Chinese and the coronavirus and Hong Kong, and secondly, the Democrats. Now, he has not taken responsibility, he has not shown leadership, and he has shown a reckless behavior in this entire situation. I hope things calm down. We saw the riots in 1968, which burned several cities, and this picture is very similar to that. This movie I've seen before. And now, just to sum it up, the people of the United States and the people of India are worried that their two leaders, Mr. Trump and Mr. Modi, may cause irreparable harm to their country before they leave office. Let us hope common sense prevails, and let us hope peace prevails. There's no need for more wars. There have been plenty of wars already, plenty of killings. It's time for peace. And this region, especially China, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, is going to be an economic powerhouse. Only India has to decide that it wants to be part of this powerhouse. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next weekend.